absolute mean error, fractional error, and percentage error. Now, on the basis of that calculation, we have to define operation on error. Suppose if you have A is equals to A plus minus delta A. This is your first input. B is equals to B plus minus delta B as second input, on the basis of which resultant will be R plus minus delta R. So these two terms are input and this is output related to any operation. First, if you want to add, so it will be R is equals to A plus B. So if you put all the values in this part, you will get R plus minus delta R, A plus minus delta A plus B plus minus delta B. If you rearrange the expression, true value to one side and error part to other side, so it will turn out to be R plus minus delta R is equals to this much. Now, if you compare this term with this part and this term with this part, so you will get on comparing, true part is equals to A plus B, error part is equals to delta A plus delta B. And if you divide these two terms, you will get fractional error as delta A plus delta B divided by A plus B, and if you multiply it by 100, so this is true, this is error, this is fractional. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. I was defining you how to operate on air. First, we have A plus minus delta A. B is equals to B plus minus delta B. So resultant of this operation will be R. So first, if you add these two terms, just 1 minute. Hello, my voice clear? So now, if you add these two terms, so if you put values of all these terms, and if you rearrange them, you will get true value to one side and error to the other part. So on comparing you will get R is equals to A plus B as true value. Delta R is equals to delta A plus delta B as error part. And if we divide these two terms, you will get fractional or relative error. And if you multiply it by 100, you will get percentage error. So these are 4 segments which we have to calculate on the basis of this addition. Is it clear, Ryan, till this part? Just write it down. I'm giving you example related to this. While done. Okay. If R1 is equals to 10 plus minus 0.4 ohm resistance, R2 is equals to 20 plus minus 0.5 ohm resistance. So find R1 plus R2. First part. It means you have to combine true value as well as error. So according to the question, we have this part as true value and this part as error. This part as true value and this part as error. So on adding any two terms which having some error, true part get added with true part. So it will be 10 plus 20, which is true value in both these terms, plus minus error part will be added with error part. So it will be 0.4 plus 0.5. So in total, it will be 30 plus minus 0.9 ohm. So this is how we simply add any two terms which having error. Is it clear? Why? Shoaib, any doubt? Okay, just write it down. Written. Now the next part is to define sub. So let's say R is equals to A minus B. So if all the values at their respective position, so it will be A plus minus delta A, B plus minus delta B. Now if you expand this, it will be A plus minus delta A minus B, and this minus on multiplying with this part, but this is error. So just remember, error can never be negative. So we can't multiply this negative to this part. So this will be written as it is, plus minus delta B. Now if you simplify it, you will get A minus B as true part, plus minus taken a common from both these segments. So you will get R plus minus delta R is equals to A minus B plus minus delta A plus delta B. So on comparing, you will say true value of this particular calculation is A minus B. Error part will be delta R is equals to delta A plus delta B. Now, if you divide these two terms to get fractional error, fractional or relative error, so it will be delta R divided by R, delta A plus delta B divided by A minus B. And if you multiply it by 100, you will get percentage error. So it will be delta R divided by R into 100. So it will be delta A plus delta B divided by A minus B multiplied by 100. So from this you conclude, while adding or subtracting, only true part gets changed, but error part will be always added. Is it clear? Just write it down. Done. Go ahead. Have you written? Okay. I'm giving you one question related to this. Find T1 plus T2, T1 minus T2. Try to solve. This is your true value and this is your true value for the first part. Similarly, this is your error part and this is error part. So according to the rule, true part will be added with true part and error with error. Simply on subtracting, true part will get subtracted with true part, but error will always be added. Just apply the rule and simplify it. File have you solved? Just see the first part. If you want to add these two terms, according to the rule, on addition, part will be added with true part, so it will be 50 plus 20 as true part, plus minus, error will be added with error, so it will be so on combining, it will be 70 plus minus 0.5 degrees Celsius as your final answer. Is it clear? Similarly, on subtraction, true part gets subtracted with true part, so it will be 50 minus 20 plus minus. Error will be always added, so it will be zero point 0.2 plus zero point 0.3. So on combining 50 minus 20, it will be 30 plus minus error will be 0.5. Is it clear? Sure. Any doubt? Okay, just write it down. Written to this part. Wire done. Okay. Now next term is how to multiply using error. So R is equals to A multiplied by B. Now put the value of each term at their respective position. So it will be as first part. Now we have to take common as R from both these terms. So I'm multiplying and dividing by R in this part. Similarly, A and A. Similarly, B and B. Now, if you take a common R from both these terms, you are left with 1 plus minus delta R by R. I have taken out common this R from this part and this R from this part. So you get 1 at this point and delta R over R at this point. Similarly, if we take out common A and A from this part, B and B from this part, so it will be A 1 plus minus delta A by A, B 1 plus minus delta B by B. So on expanding, A and B taken out as coefficient, if you expand this term using distributive law, it will be 1 plus minus delta A by A plus minus delta B by B plus minus delta A by A times delta B by B. I have used here distributive law, which means if you have x plus y multiplied by a plus b. So this x will multiply with both these two parts. So it will be x times a plus b plus this y will multiply with each part. So it will be a plus b. Now this x further will multiply with each part. So it will be x times a, x times b. And similarly, y will get multiplied with each part, so it will be y times a and y times b as your final answer. So this is distributive law. It means if you have to expand any two bracket, just use this concept. So in this part, we have this bracket and this bracket, this a and this b taken out as common. So if you multiply one to each term, similarly this to each term, you will get this part. Now just remember, if you have 0.1 multiplied by 0.2, so your result would be 0.02. So if you compare the magnitude of each of these three segments, you will say this is smallest as compared to these. So you will say by multiplying any two smaller term, you will get much smaller value. Similarly, this is smaller value, this is again a smaller value. So on multiplying, this part will be very small as compared to the rest of the term. So we'll just neglect it. Now, if we take out common, so it will be 1 plus minus taken out common. So we're left with delta a plus by a plus delta b by b. Now, if you compare these two segments, we have left hand side as coefficient r and right hand side as this part. So on comparing, you will say r is equals to a multiplied by b, which is true value of this calculation. After plus minus, we have delta r over r, and after plus minus, we have this part. So it will be delta r over r is equals to delta a by a plus delta b by b. Means this is fractional error. If you have to calculate delta r only, move this r to the other side, you will get delta r is equals to delta a by a, delta b by b, multiplied by r. And if you want to calculate percentage error, just multiply it by 100. So it will be delta a by a into 100 plus delta b by b into 100. So this is your percentage error. This is fractional error. This is true value. And this is error part. Is it clear? Shwab, is it clear to this part? Okay, just write it down. Okay, I'm giving you one problem related to this. If current is equals to 10 plus minus zero point 0.5 ampere, resistance is equals to 20 plus minus 0.4 ohm. Find first voltage, second error part, third percentage error. So which formula you use? You know, according to Ohm's law, voltage is equals to current into resistance. So we have this part as true value and this part as true value. So put these two terms in this part, you will get true value of voltage. Next, since these two terms are in multiplication, so if you have to calculate the error part, so formula would be delta V divided by V is equals to delta I divided by I plus delta R divided by R. Move this V to the other side, you will get delta V is equals to delta I over I plus delta R over R multiplied by V. Just put all the values in this part and simplify it. Try to solve. Wahid, have you solved? Yeah. Okay. Just put the value of I as 10, R as 20 in this part, you will get true value of voltage. Delta I is 0.5. This is delta I, and this is delta R. I is true value, which is 10. R is true value, which is 20. We have calculated from this. Just put all the values in this part, you will get delta V. Try to simplify. I is 10, R is 20. So if you multiply these two terms, you will get 200 volt as true value. Delta I is 0.5, I is 10, delta R is 0.4, R is 20, whole multiplied by 200. So if you expand this, you will get 0.5 divided by 10 multiplied by 200, 0.4 divided by 20 multiplied by 200. So this 0 and this 0 will cancel out. This 0 and this 0 will cancel out. 2 into 10 times will be 20. So you will get 10 plus 4, 40 as error part. So from this, your answer will be voltage is equals to 200 plus minus 14 volt. And if you want to calculate percentage error, delta V divided by V multiplied by 100. Delta V is 14, divided by V is 200, multiplied by 100. So 20 and 20 will cancel out. 14 divided by 2 will be 7%. Is it clear? Sure. Any doubt in this calculation? Okay, Wahid. Just write it down. written till this? Okay. Now, how to define division and exponential? I'm giving you one concept about binomial theorem. It simply tells you if you have 1 plus x raised to n, where n would be anything, whether it would be fraction, negative number, positive number, anything. If x being very, very small as compared to 1, so this will be equals to 1 plus n times of x. It means this exponential would get multiplied with this coefficient. Whatever the value of this n would be, but condition is the value of x should be very small as compared to 1. Now, according to this rule, if we have to divide, r is equals to a divided by b. Now put the values of each term, so it will be r plus minus delta r is equals to a plus minus delta a divided by b plus minus delta b. In this first part, we have to take out common r. So just multiply and divide by r, multiply and divide by a, multiply and divide by a. So if you take out common r from this, you will left with 1 plus minus delta r by r. If you take out common a, it will be 1 plus minus delta a by a. I've done a mistake. It will be b divided by b. So take out common b, so it will be 1 plus minus delta b by b. Now this can be written as a divided by b, 1 plus minus delta a by a. And since this part is in denominator, which having exponential as 1, so on moving this term to numerator, its exponential would become minus 1. Is it clear? According to the rule of exponential, it will be now, if you apply this particular term using binomial expression, this minus 1 would multiply with this part. But this is error which can never be negative. So it will be r 1 plus minus delta r by r in left hand side, a by b 1 plus minus delta a by a, and 1. If you multiply this part with this term, but this is error which can never be negative, so it will be as it is delta b by b. So just expand this, you will get a by b 1 plus minus delta a by a plus minus delta b by b and plus minus delta a by a times delta b by b. Now, since this is nothing but multiplication of two small terms, which will give you further smaller value, so it will be neglected. So what we're left with? R1 plus minus delta R by R is equals to A by B 1 plus minus taken out common. So it will be delta A by A plus delta B by B. Now just compare these two parts. So you will get, on comparing, like this. First, R is coefficient of this part, so it will be equals to this only. So R is equals to A divided by B as true value. This part will be equals to this part. So delta R divided by R is equals to delta A by A plus delta B by B, which is similar to multiplication part. Now, if you move this R to the other side, you will get error part is equals to delta A by A, delta B by B, and whole multiplied by R. And next, if you want to calculate percentage error, just multiply this by 100. So it will be delta R by R into 100 is equals to delta A by A into 100 plus delta B by B into 100. So there is only one difference in this division as compared to multiplication in this true part. Rest of all term is similar to multiplication. So just remember, while multiplication or division, only the true part will be multiplied or divided. The rest of the whole term would be same in both parts. Is it clear? Why? Just write it down. I'm giving you an example related to this. We written till this. Sure. Okay. If power is equals to 100 plus minus 0.8 watt, current is equals to 10 plus minus zero point 0.5 ampere. Find percentage error in voltage. As we know, power is equals to voltage into current. So if you want to calculate voltage, so it will be power divided by current. Since these two terms are in division, so you have to calculate percentage error. So just use this concept. So it will be delta A by A into 100 means percentage error in first part plus delta B by B into 100 means percentage error in second part. So it will be delta V by V into 100 is equals to delta P by P into 100 plus delta I by I into 100. Now just put the values of delta P, P, delta I by I in this whole part. P is this part, delta P is this part, I is this, and delta I is this. Just put all these values and simplify it. This is P, this is delta P, this is I, this is delta I. Just put all these values in this equation and simplify it. Try to solve. Have you solved? Wahid? Just send your answer. We have delta P as this part. Divide by P as this part. Multiplied by 100. Delta I is 0.5. I is 10 multiplied by 100. So this 100 and this 100 will cancel out. This 10 and 10 will cancel out. So you will get 0.8 plus 5. So on combining, it will be 5.8%. Is it clear? Shab? Okay. Just write it down. Return to this. Shab, have we done? Next is exponential. Suppose R is equals to A raised to M, B raised to N. And you have to calculate error related to this. So just put the values. So it will be R plus minus delta R is equals to A plus minus delta A to the power M, B plus minus delta B to the power N. Now we have again we have to take out common as R from this part. So it will be 1 plus minus delta R by R. If we take out common A, so it will be 1 plus minus delta A by A and whole multiplied by M. Similarly, if we take out B, so it will be 1 plus minus delta B by B whole raised to power N. So this power will multiply it with this part as well as this part. So it will be a raised to m 1 plus minus delta a by a to the power m. Similarly, b raised to n 1 plus minus delta b by b raised to n. According to binomial expansion, this power will get multiplied with this coefficient. So you will get a raised to n, b raised to n, 1 plus minus m times delta a by a, 1 plus minus n times delta b by b. I've just used binomial expansion, in which if you have 1 plus x raised to n, this exponential will get multiplied with this coefficient. Now expand this using binomial, using distributive law. So you will get a raised to m, b raised to n, 1 plus minus m times delta a by a plus minus n times delta b by b plus minus m into n delta a by a times delta b by b. Now just see in this whole part, which is nothing but product of very small value, so this term will be neglected. Is it clear till this part? Wahid, any doubt? So if you neglect this whole part, you will get r 1 plus minus delta r by r is equals to a raised to m, b raised to n, 1 plus minus taken out common. So it will be delta a by a plus delta b by b. Now on comparing these two terms, on left hand side and right hand side, true part would be equals to a raised to m and b raised to n. Error part will be equals to m times delta a by a, n times delta b by b. And if you multiply it by 100, you will get percentage error is equals to delta a by a into 100 plus n times delta b by b into 100. Is it clear? Shab, any doubt in this part? Okay, just write it down. I'm giving you some example. Have you written to this? Go ahead. Done. Sure. Have you done? I'm giving you some question related to this. Suppose P is equals to A under B divided by C, in which percentage error in A, B, C, D are 3%, 4%, 2%, 1% respectively. Find percentage error in P. So how to define it? Just say in this expression, P is equals to A raised to 1, B having square root, so in exponential it will be written as power half, C raised to 3 and D raised to 2. So according to the law of exponential, it will be delta P by P into 100 as percentage error in P is equals to 1 as exponential of A times delta A by A into 100 plus half as exponential of B. So it will be delta B by B into 100 plus 3 as exponential of C. So it will be delta C by C into 100 and 2 as exponential of D. So it will be delta D by D into 100. In this whole part, this is nothing but percentage error in A. This is percentage error in B. This is percentage error in C. And this is percentage error in D, which is already given in the question. Percentage error in A is 3, B is 4, C is 2, D is 1. Just put all these values in this expression and simplify it. Is it clear? Why? Suppose you have 1 as coefficient multiplied by percentage error in A, which is given in the question, which is 3, plus half as coefficient of B and percentage error in B is 4. Just put all the respective values and simplify it. Are we done, both of you? Just send me your answer. Good, share. Why? Just send me your answer. We have half, percentage range B is 4 plus 3, percentage range C is 2 plus 2, percentage range D is 1. So it will be 3, 2, 6 plus 2. So it will be 13%. Why? Is it clear? Okay. You have written? There is one exception in this part. Suppose if you have to calculate resistance in parallel combination. Equivalent resistance in parallel. So we have formula 1 by R equivalent is equals to 1 by R1, 1 by R2. So this will be nothing but true value. Now, if you want to calculate error related to this, it will be delta R equivalent is equals to delta R1 divided by R1 square plus delta R2 divided by R2 square and whole multiplied by R equivalent square. So this will give you error related to that measurement. So just remember, only in this part we use this formula. Why? Done. Why have you written? Next is, in some of the question, they will give you result in terms of some word. Suppose least count, approximation, or uncertainty. These three different words to define you nothing but error related to that measurement. I'm giving you a question. The length of the time period of simple pendulum is 20 seconds, measured by stopwatch having least count as 1 second. So define true value and error in that given time. So you will see this particular term will be true value and this particular term will be the error. Means whenever you have least count, approximation or uncertainty in the statement, all of these three terms will define you nothing but the error part. So from this, you will say time period will be equals to 20 plus minus 1 second. Is it clear? Sure, any doubt? Just write it down. Have you written? Okay. Now, in this chapter, we have to define some term related to measurement of large distances. So first is scale for measuring large distances. First term is light year. Light year is nothing but the total distance traveled by light in 1 year if it is going through vacuum. So light year is nothing but distance traveled by light in 1 year. So you will say the total distance traveled by light in 1 year if going through vacuum. So light year is nothing but distance, which is equals to speed into time. So 1 light year is equals to speed of light in vacuum is 3 into 10 to the power 8, and time taken for 1 complete year, so it will be 365.25. Each day will be of 24 hours, and each hour will be of 60 minutes and 60 seconds. On multiplying, you will get 9.46 into 10 to the power 15 meter as 1 light year. Is it clear? What do you mean by light year? Sure. Any doubt? Okay, just write it down. Why? Have you done? Next is astronomical unit. You will learn in gravitation as planet revolve around the sun in elliptical orbit, for which sun lies at this point, one of the focus, and planet will be at some point at this point and some other time at this point, and so on. So just see, we have different distances of planet from the sun at different point. So if you calculate the average of all these distance between Earth and Sun, which is termed as astronomical unit. So astronomical unit is nothing but the average distance between Earth and the Sun. So 1 astronomical unit is equals to 1.496 into 10 raised to 11, or you may write it as 1.5 into 10 raised to 11 meters. So this is another scale for measuring large distances. Why? Is it clear to this part? Okay, just write it down. Done. Have you written? Wahid, done. Okay. Next is parsec, or it is short form of parallactic second. Suppose you have a circle. This is first radius. This is second radius. And these two terms must be inclined at some angle theta. Radius, radius. So this will be termed as length of arc. So I defined you relation between length of arc, theta, and radius in our first lecture. So theta is equals to length of arc divided by radius, in which theta would be measured in terms of radian. Similarly, if Earth and Sun behaves as, or the distance between Earth and Sun taken as length of arc. Let's say this particular point to be Sun and this to be Earth. So the distance between these two terms is called astronomical unit. If this astronomical unit behaves as length of arc, and it would subtend an angle of 1 second at this far point. So this distance is called 1 parsec. So 1 parsec is nothing but the distance at which one astronomical unit as length of arc subtending an angle of 1 second. Is called 1 parsec. So in this part, we have theta is equals to 1 second. Length of arc is equals to 1 astronomical unit. And we have to calculate radius. So according to the formula, 1 parsec would be equals to 1 astronomical unit divided by theta, which is 1 second. Now I'm defining you measurement of angle as like for time 1 hour is equals to 1 or 60 minutes. So it will be 1 degree is equals to 60 minutes. And similarly, 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds. So this is minute and this is second. There is direct relation to convert degree, minute, second into radian measurement. 1 degree is equals to 1.74 into 10 to the power minus 2 radian. Just remember this. 1 minute is equals to 2.91 into 10 to the power minus 4 radian, and 1 second is equals to 4.85 10 raised to minus 6 radian. Using these values, if we put 1 astronomical unit as 1.496 into 10 raised to 11, and 1 second in terms of radian as 4.85 into 10 raised to minus 6. So on simplifying, you will get 3.08 into 10 raised to 16 meter as 1 parsec. Is it clear? Shab, is it clear? Okay, just write it down. And just remember this conversion, degree into radian measurement. Have you written till this part? Okay, Wahid, have you done? So this is all about this whole second chapter, that is dimension analysis and error analysis. So do you have any doubt in this whole part? Wahid, Shad, any doubt? Okay. So just revise this whole part. In next class, we will start third chapter, that is kinematics or motion straight line. Okay. Wahid, any doubt? Okay then, We'll meet in next class and we'll start third chapter. Okay.